Retro Flora podcast. I'm Brenda.
And I'm Charmy, and we're just two crazy sisters with an opinion and a channel.
If you like true crime, conspiracy, and supernatural shit, then this is your channel. So today we have a true crime for you guys.
I'm gonna cry.
It's really heartbreaking, and it is unsolved, so I know the frustration that people are gonna have.
Like not knowing.
Yeah, not knowing. It's not a lot of evidence and not a lot of information, but let's just jump into it. The nature of this podcast is gruesome and disturbing. It contains graphic language. Viewer discretion advised. Elizabeth Marie Nellie was born June 26, 1989 in Elk Grove Village, Illinois, to parents Robert J. Nellie Jr. and Rosemary T. Nellie. She had an older brother named Robert J. Nellie III. Elizabeth graduated from Klein Collins High School in 2008. Elizabeth loved the Chicago Cubs baseball team. She was a huge Harry Potter and Star Wars fan. She was always reading books and watching the movies. She was described as kind and caring. She loved making people smile and laugh. She spent her freshman year at the Stephen F. Austin State University in Texas. She transferred to the Sam Houston State University in 2009, where she met Sergio Barraza. The two began dating and even adopted a dog together and named him Diesel. And he's like this little cute sausage dog. Like, look at him.
Oh, he's cute. And I'm not a dog person.
Yeah, he's a cutie. Elizabeth and Sergio had a great relationship. They rarely fought, were best friends, and had the same interests. They both love Harry Potter and Star Wars, and dressing up in cosplay and going to Comic-Con, and even going to the Texas Renaissance Fair in costume. In 2012, Elizabeth graduated with a bachelor's degree in psychology. Elizabeth and Sergio got married on February 1st, 2014. Elizabeth worked at the Rosen Group as a data reporter, and Sergio worked for his father as a crew chief installing floor. In 2016, the two purchased a home in Princeton, Texas. Both were members of the 501st Legion, which is a group of Star Wars fans that dress up as different characters, but mostly stormtroopers, and mostly dark side characters too. Elizabeth and Sergio would dress up as stormtroopers and surprise children in hospitals. Elizabeth and Sergio were taking a trip to Florida to go to Disney World and Universal Studios on January 27, 2019, for their 5th wedding anniversary. Elizabeth and Sergio decided they should do a yard sale to make some extra cash. They did yard sales before, but once a year, and this one was different because they planned it the night before. And there are conflicting reports because I saw that some said they passed flyers out the night before, and then I saw that some said they passed flyers out the morning of, so I'm not really sure which is which. On the morning of Friday, January 25th, 2019, Sergio left for work around 6:30 to 7 a.m., and Elizabeth called in sick that morning to set up the yard sale. 4 minutes after he left, the neighbor's security camera captured a dark Nissan Frontier with a Pro 4x sticker pull up across the street from Elizabeth and Sergio's home. The person in the car leaves the car running and exits from the driver's side. As he is walking up to Elizabeth, she is heard saying good morning. The person pulls out a gun and Elizabeth steps back. They talk for about 6 to 10 seconds before the person shoots Elizabeth 4 times with the revolver at point blank range. 1 shot went through the side of her neck, 2 shots were in her chest, and the last shot was to her face.
Why?
Yeah, they just hopped out of the car, said something to her, and talked for 6 to 10 seconds, and they just shot her.
That is insane.
Yeah. After the person shot her, they ran back to their car and drove away. About 2 minutes later, that person then drives back around, maybe to see if she was dead. I'm not really sure, but they drove back around. 3 neighbors called 911 to report gunshots. Elizabeth was rushed to the Memorial Hermann Hospital in Houston. Elizabeth was pronounced dead at 1:40 p.m. Saturday, January 26. She was an organ donor, and her heart, liver, kidneys, and corneas were donated. And so now, I went on this website, and it has the timeline of events, and it was last updated July 26, 2022. So that's the most current they have. And it starts off with, so I'm just gonna read the dates and the day and the times and just tell you what happened at that time. January 24th, 2019, Thursday evening. Elizabeth and Sergio discussed the garage sale setup, Friday, January 25th to Saturday, January 26th. Evening. Sergio and Elizabeth placed garage sale signs in the neighborhood announcing the garage sale running from Friday, January 25th, through Saturday, January 26th. Friday, January 25th. Early morning, approximately 2 a.m. A black Nissan Frontier observed on neighborhood cameras driving by Elizabeth's house. Early morning, 6:08. Elizabeth drives to the local Starbucks to get coffee. 6:16, Elizabeth arrives home to begin setting up the garage sale. Between 6:17 and 6:47, Elizabeth and Sergio start arranging items outside on the driveway. 6:47, the Nissan Frontier arrives and pulls into the neighborhood Princeton Place Drive from, I don't know how to say this name. I think it's Kukendall Road. Sorry if I butcher that. And then drives into the Goddard School parking lot. 6:48 a.m. The Nissan Frontier leaves the school parking lot to conceal on a different street. 6:48. Sergio leaves the property to go to work in a white panel van. 6:51. The Nissan Frontier comes back into view and heads towards the Baraza home. 6:52. The murderer does a 3-point turn on Cedar Walk, parks behind Elizabeth's car, and then exits, walking up towards the driveway where Elizabeth is still setting up. Between 6:52.22 and 6:52.20, like the little milliseconds. Sorry. Elizabeth says good morning, and the murderer speaks to her for about 6 seconds. Then there are 3 quick shots, and then a 4th shot delivered point blank once Elizabeth collapsed in the driveway. This incident all took place in a matter of 30 seconds. 6:53, the murderer sprints back to the truck and leaves. 6:53, neighbor D calls the 911, heard 4 shots, and observed the Frontier leave and returned 58 seconds into the call with the dispatch. The next door neighbor, Mrs. O, calls 911, observes someone laying in the neighbor's driveway, heard 4 shots, sees police on scene during call. Mrs. B, neighbor across the street, calls 911. Someone is shot and saw it in her home security footage. At 6:55, the murderer exits the Princeton Place subdivision and then does a U-turn to re-enter the neighborhood. The truck is captured on her doorbell cam passing by Elizabeth's house. 6:58, Harris County Precinct 4 constables arrives to investigate, and secure the scene. 7:19, the Harris County Precinct 4 constables enters the house to clear and secure the home. This sets off the alarm that Elizabeth had set to instantly trigger if a door was open. She had the door inside the garage unlocked for her safety as a precaution. Early morning unknown. The truck is tracked on several commercial cameras, but is eventually lost in an area with no camera footage. Early morning unknown. Elizabeth's parents are notified by her alarm company that the alarm has been triggered and they cannot reach Elizabeth. They left their home immediately. Early morning unknown. Cypress Creek EMS arrives on the scene and calls for Memorial Hermann Life Flight. 7:21, Life Flight arrives and transports Elizabeth to Memorial Hermann on the 9600th Fanning Street. 7:37 a.m., Rosemary and Bob Nellie arrive on the scene minutes after Elizabeth's transport by Life Flight. 7:51, Sergio Barraza arrives back at the house and is detained by the law enforcement for questioning. 8:02, Rosemary and Bob leave Elizabeth's house to go to Memorial Hermann downtown. Unknown. Elizabeth arrives at Memorial Hermann emergency room with the Precinct 4 constable on security outside her treatment area in the emergency room. Saturday, January 26th at 1:40 p.m. Elizabeth Nellie Baraza is pronounced dead by the trauma team. Friday, February 1st at 7 p.m. Elizabeth's friends and family hold a vigil at her house to call for justice and publicize the case. Local media was invited and live streamed the event. Over 100 of her friends and family were present. The vigil concluded with a lightsaber and Harry Potter wand raising. And then Saturday, February 2nd, Elizabeth's family and friends hold a private celebration of life. And so that's the timeline of events. It was originally thought that this was a robbery gone bad, but nothing was stolen. This crime was difficult to investigate because there was little to no forensic evidence. No shell casings, no DNA, no fingernails, hair, or fibers. Sergio was questioned along with friends and family and neighbors, but no one could come up with any reason why she would be targeted. Like, there was just like no motive. This literally looked like a random crime.
Yeah, it does.
The only thing that doesn't look random is the fact that that car was circling around at 2 a.m. Cops reviewed surveillance cameras, and based off of the height, they believed the suspect was a woman. It looked like the shooter was wearing a dress or a trench coat. Some believed it could have been a disguise. Police questioned neighbors to see if anyone knew anyone who drove a dark Nissan Frontier, but no one had ever seen that car before. A $20,000 reward was announced by Crime Stoppers for any information that led to the arrest of Elizabeth's murder. The reward was increased to $50,000. So that is literally all the evidence. Like, that's everything.
Do you think it was just like a crime of opportunity? Like, she just happened to be there?
No, only because the surveillance of that car already circling around. And then even with them saying like that car was like trying to conceal itself from like surveillance cameras before they shot her, I feel like...
So you think they have to have known her?
Well, let's jump into the theories, Charmy, because there are quite a lot of theories, but I just took 4 that I felt like really made sense, because some of them were I was just like, no. Theory 1. Sergio did it, or he was partly responsible. People have speculated that either Sergio or Elizabeth were having an affair, and that the killer was either Sergio's jealous lover who wanted him all to herself, or the killer was Elizabeth's lover's wife. Some people say that they can hear Elizabeth on the doorbell cam say, "No, that's not true." They believe if it was Sergio's lover, that she could have told Elizabeth that Sergio was with her, and that could have caused Elizabeth to say that. Or that Elizabeth's lover's wife could have confronted her about the affair with her husband, and she could have said that. But police could not find any evidence of either one of them having an affair. I just don't think this theory is it. Like I said, they couldn't find no digital trail of like evidence, you know, like even deleted text messages, like nothing of signs of affair. So probably not this theory, but it's just one of the main theories. Theory 2, it was someone close to her. Not a lot of people knew about the yard sale, only Sergio, family, and a few close friends. It was a very quiet street, and her murderer knew she would be alone and in front of her house. Someone close to her could have hired a hitman, and that person scoped the place out the night before, which was the truck caught on the surveillance camera at 2 a.m. driving in the neighborhood, and then drove back around after Elizabeth was shot to maybe take a picture for proof or to confirm for sure she was dead. But the only thing about this is that last move is risky for a hitman, because like after you shot her, like people have called, like 4 shots have gone off. People are calling the police. Like, yeah, I feel like it's too risky to come back around. Like as a hitman, you would have known the job was done from like the get-go. You know what I mean? Yeah. And also I feel like they put up flyers, right? So like more than just family knew. Well, I mean like family, friends, like people in the neighborhood, and only people in that small neighborhood, so not a lot of people knew about this. That's why they were saying it could have been someone close to her. But I don't know about this, because what is the motive of them hiring someone to kill her? Like, I know, friends. Like money. I don't. Money wasn't even taken. Like, that's the crazy thing. Like, they didn't even steal nothing. So it was like, I still think it's opportunity. I just don't think it's opportunity with that car casing around at 2 a.m. Like, that's just weird. Theory 3. Elizabeth was a victim of mistaken identity, which would explain her saying, "No, that's not true." It is theorized that it could have been a hit placed on someone else by drug dealers, and Elizabeth looked like the target. Okay, I can see that. I can see that too, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm about to put a hit on you, like, even as drug dealers, sure. Right, like, I should have a picture. This should be like, this is who I'm looking for. This is who you need to kill. So I don't know. I mean, that is possible. It could have been a mistaken identity. I just feel like if it was, that is the sloppiest hitman I've ever heard. Like, that's crazy. The person got away with it. It is, but that's just so stupid, because they didn't. If it's a mistaken identity, they didn't kill the right person, so now they gotta go do it again. So it is kind of like a terrible
Yeah.
hitman. And the last theory, theory 4, Elizabeth's job had something to do with her murder. Elizabeth worked for a pipeline inspection company and could have seen something that she wasn't supposed to see and was killed for it. But like, I'm just like curious to what she could have seen that could have caused them to be like, we have to kill her.
And just her.
And then it's like, she called off sick that day, so like really, did they really think that she was gonna be out at 7 a.m. just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, if someone calls
So
off sick,
she could have told somebody she was having a garage sale when she was there.
yeah, but it was said that she didn't tell her coworkers, just like it was like she planned the night before, so it was like the only way she would tell her coworkers is when she's calling off, being like, yeah, I'm calling off because I'm setting up my garage sale. So it's like, you know. So yeah, I just don't know what to think. I don't know about any of these theories. None of them really make sense. There's really no motive to this murder.
It really isn't.
And then I was looking, and the husband got a lot of backlash. They were saying that he wasn't grieving how he was supposed to, and that like he just is messed up that he just sold the house and didn't want to do interviews. But like, come on!
Yeah, I don't want to talk to nobody.
And not even that. This person targeted your wife. Like, that's what it's looking like from surveillance cameras. So what's stopping them from killing you? Yeah, I don't think,
like, I would move away, sell the house too. Like,
I looked at interviews and I felt like he was generally grieving. So I mean, I've seen interviews where the husband was not generally grieving because they literally killed the person, you know what I mean? So it's like, and everyone grieves differently. Some people like don't want to be being interviewed after their loved one dies. Like, I get it.
yeah.
So that's pretty much it. This case is still unsolved.
That's the problem. It's like unsolved, and we'll probably never know what really happened.
No,
It's like no DNA was left at all.
And then there's like surveillance footage, but like you can't really hear what they're saying. Like, people put words up thinking like that's what they said, and then you know how your mind is. If you read it, you start looking for it in the voice message, then it's probably not what they're saying. So I don't know. This case really boggles my mind because, like I said, there's no motive. It looks like a crime of opportunity, but it's like you were casing a place at 2 a.m. So that's weird. I just feel bad for their family because they really are left with no like answers. So yeah, I don't like unsolved crimes. I won't be doing a lot of them, but I really wanted to like talk about this crime, like talk about this case, because somebody out there knows what happened. But yeah, that is the case of Elizabeth Baraza. Well, you've made it to the end.
You must really like the sounds of our high-pitched voices and quirky commentary.
You might as well like and subscribe to our channel and hit that bell to be notified every time we drop new content. If you want to follow our social medias, they will be linked in the description box below.
Bye!
Love you guys. Stay safe and stay spooky.
Woo.